Joining us is former political director for President Bush and chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. He joins the conversation. Matt, good to see you this morning.
Great to be with you, Dagan.
What's going to happen?
I think this is not going to be a shock. My guess is they'll have a cordial meeting. I don't think, I wouldn't look for any big news coming out of it, like everybody's saying, including Speaker Ryan, that they're all signed up and ready to endorse. But I do think they'll walk through things, they'll get to know each other, and I think they're going to have a constructive meeting. And I think we're on our way to everybody coming together.
Lee, yesterday I said that I am a connoisseur of reality television shows. And when you have a rift, when you have a fissure, albeit a small one, you don't want to repair it too quickly.
Right.
Because you don't keep the interest of the viewer. And you didn't want, this kind of went on for about a week. It wasn't that bad, but it kept people on the edge of their seats to see what happens, see what happens, see what happens.
So you don't think Paul Ryan is for VP after this meeting today?
No, I just think that there is some method to this. You have the dust up, and then you mend fences, and it brings everybody together and keeps people interested.
I think you're right, but I also think that this is authentic. If everybody just said in one day, like, hey, we're all signed up, we love Donald Trump, we're endorsing him today, and there was no back and forth, there was no conversation, there was no, like, I'm not sure about, would anyone buy it? It would just seem like a bunch of kumbaya, and like the last year didn't happen. So the fact that people need to take some time, have some conversations, meet, and as Trump would say, have some negotiations and we'll figure it all out, I think that plays right into a real authentic story.
For sure, and I think Trump, though, is in the driver's seat here, because I think if Paul Ryan doesn't back him or really pushes back hard against him, I think that could rally more of the anti-establishment around Trump. And if he does come on board, you have the establishment rallying around him. So I think Trump has positioned himself here where it's a win-win for him, whatever comes out of today.
Matt, does Donald Trump need these individuals who are longtime politicians, if you will? Does he need them for support on the surface to bring voters aboard? Does he need them for the fundraising, for Pete's sake?
I really agree with what Mike just said. I think he's got himself in a position where he kind of wins in either way, Dagan. I mean, he doesn't need all these D.C. Republicans. He's running against Washington. He's running against Congress. He doesn't need all these people to support him. By the same token, he needs to demonstrate to Republicans across the country, to conservatives across the country, that conservatives do support his candidacy by and large, that he gets most of them. If he ends up fighting with a few elected Republicans until November, that's really not going to hurt him. I think the key here is for Trump and for the Republican Party is to realize, they ought to come up with a plan by which Donald Trump has the ability to raise the resources to take on Hillary Clinton, and at the same time, Republicans in the House and in the Senate realize that there are some advantages to having an outsider as the nominee, and that they also feel comfortable that there's a plan for them to raise the resources and to work together to get there. So we're going to see if this can be put together. I'm confident it can, and I give Reince Priebus a lot of credit for using his personal relationship with Trump and his very close personal relationship with Paul Ryan to try to pull this all together. It's what a chairman should do, and he's doing a great job.
He has done a very, very difficult dance, not just in the last few months, but really in the last year in terms of handling Donald Trump and all the other candidates. But speaking of two past Republican presidents, both Presidents Bush 41 and 43 say they are not going to endorse anyone in this election. Matt, what do you make of that? Are you surprised by that? Does it hurt Donald Trump?
Well, I have a great reverence for the Bushes, for the Bush family. I worked for President Bush 43, so did my wife, Mercy. And, I think that he has decided to, by and large, exit the political stage. Obviously, his brother ran for president. That was a bit painful for everybody. But he's really exited the political stage. So I think that is the road that he's on. I really wish he would get more engaged politically, but this is a personal decision he's made. He felt like he served as president honorably, and it's time for him to move from the stage. And quite frankly, once again, for Donald Trump, it doesn't really help him to have every former elected and every current elected embrace him. He doesn't really necessarily need that.
Incredibly gracious during President Obama's 2 terms in office.
Oh,
we should point out. But on the other side, we have Mitt Romney, who goes on Facebook and has to criticize Donald Trump about not releasing his tax returns. I don't understand that. Can you make sense of it?
No, remember, Mitt Romney had his own controversy over the fact that he wasn't going to release his tax returns, and it took Harry Reid going to the Senate floor for this to finally happen. Look, Mitt Romney, to this point in the primary, received 1 million votes less, right? This is May,
right.
And Trump has 1 million votes more than Romney got at the end of the process. Donald Trump is going to get more votes in this primary process than any Republican who's ever run for president. Mitt Romney needs to stop. A lot of us held our nose and voted for him because we thought he was a good man. He's not acting like a good man now. He's acting like somebody who wanted to kind of run for president, but not really run for president, and have us all beg to put his name back in play. And I think it's time for this to end.
Right, Lee, why, with the Mitt Romney still going after Trump, what's the end game? That's what I don't understand. What do you want to get out of this?
I wish I knew what the point was. It's like, is he fighting for relevance? Does he think that he might have, like, come in and soup in the convention and everybody's going to change their mind on Donald Trump all of a sudden? I can't, for the life of me, figure it out, but it just does not look good for him. And I think, quite frankly, it only helps Trump, because it goes to the point of he couldn't win, and now, you know, there's somebody new in town.
And, Matt, I want to get your reaction to this. So Donald Trump, there's much discussion about who his vice presidential pick will be. He talked about it with Greta Van Susteren last night. Do we have that?
Okay, how big is the universe? Is it 5 or 6? Or
I'd say 5 or 6 or 7, maybe.
Okay, let's a few more kids. Any women in that group?
Actually, yes.
Okay. Last night, Governor Jan Brewer said to me that she thought you ought to look at Governor Mary Fallin, Oklahoma. Is she one of the women?
Well, and also Jan. I mean, Jan Brewer has been fantastic. She has been so fantastic, and I won so big, her territory, and we won so big. And she's a fabulous woman, and I agree with you. Governor of Oklahoma, fabulous person.
Matt, who do you think it will be? Do you have a gut sense?
Oh, wow. It's really tough to know how Donald Trump is going to make these choices. I had dinner last night with Marsha Blackburn, a very conservative congressman from Tennessee who has a 100% rating with the American Conservative Union. She would be a great pick. There are a lot of great options that he has. I will tell you this, Dagan, which is he has got to signal to conservatives that he's going to govern as a conservative. I believe he's going to. And I think this pick for vice president is crucial. Because he's an outsider and doesn't have a voting record, it's crucial that he explain to the voters the types of people he's going to surround himself with. So it's not just the vice president. Who are the types of people he's going to put in his cabinet? Who are the types of candidates he'd put on the court? Who would he pick to be in those important jobs like chief of staff? Because we've never seen him operate in government, I think it's critical for him to put these names out there and for those names to send a signal to conservatives that he's going to govern as a conservative.
And it's not just people on TV who say that. People say that to me all the time privately who've never been involved in politics, but that's the one thing that they want to see. So, Matt, it was great to see you. Matt Schlapp, take care.